What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. Tonight, I want to do a quick live feed in regards to a couple things I want to go over with you guys, and that's regards to PPP loan fraud, um, talk about the Inflation Reduction Act, and also talk about ways for you guys to actually recession-proof your business. Uh, Again, I'm Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. You know, on the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel, we talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and investing. We got over 400 videos on the YouTube channel, grand playlists, over 150 grand opportunities for you guys to check out. Um, we cover business finance, business management, and business operation. Right now, we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Twitter. The main hub is the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel. So whatever platform that you're looking at is at, go to the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That is the main hub for all our videos. And I just want to reach out to everybody tonight because I've been getting a couple things in order, but I want to get back to what we're doing financial updates. We had a pretty good tax season. I'm an accountant by profession. This past tax season. So I want to get back. I want to give you guys the weekly and sometimes twice a week financial updates with just main financial news, information that's going on, in the area right now. One of the biggest things I want to talk about with you guys is PPP loan fraud. There are a lot of people that took advantage of the, fortunately and unfortunately, with the PPP or payroll protection program that was offered during the initial part of the pandemic. That the PPP and also the economic injury disaster loan, also known as the EIDL, the Shutter Venue Act. So a couple more that came out that were SBA related that the federal government enacted. One of the biggest ones was the PPP loan. I'm not a CPA. I'm an accountant. Been an accountant for over 25 years. You asked the question, was I a CPA? No, I'm not an accountant. Been an accountant for 25 years, but I'm not a CPA. But the thing that I want to talk to you guys about in regards to the PPP loan, just go over a couple things. One of the main questions that I have been getting asked, guys, is can the government come after me if the loan has been forgiven? And the quick question is just yes. One of the things I want to go over, you guys, there's a couple things you guys got to think about in regards to that. Let me see. Give me 1 second when I'm covering and answer the questions. One of the things that we want to think about it with the PPP, and I'm not trying to go into, I've made several videos in regards to when we're doing talking about the PPP and disaster loans over the past couple of years. Hey, my mom tuning in. What's going on, Mom? I appreciate you tuning in. One of the biggest things I want to talk to you guys about in regards to that, because Gabe talked about, being careful with applying for these loans and everything like that. I want to just kind of like give you guys guidance, because why you did it, how you did it, that's on you. But I want to just kind of just give you advice now, more so moving forward with everything, because I talked enough about don't do it. But now if you're in a situation where you did do it intentionally, or something may have done where you didn't know about it, i.e. you took it to somebody and they filled out the paperwork for it, next thing you know, you got approved for a loan, still gonna give you some kind of instructions in regards to that, okay? One of the questions I got, what if you wanted to make a repayment of the fund you received, if there's a way? Well, we're gonna talk about that tonight. And please forgive me if I mispronounce your name, Jalami. What it is asking, what if you wanted to make repayment of the fund if you received it their way? One of the things I want to go over first is pretty much the ways that they can have some kind of recourse to come back to you, and then we'll go forward talking about ways you can move forward with the whole, if it's a situation where the PPP funds were misused intentionally or unintentionally. Well, the first thing I want to tell you guys about, we start looking at why would it be a reason for the government to come back to you in regards to the PPP loan. One of the first things is falsifying information in the initial PPP application, such as your payroll figures or those tax documents, those initial forms that if you put in information that was incorrect, they could come back to you in regards to it. And how would they know? They may ask for, those past 941s, if those 941s are quarterly payroll taxes that were filed with the IRS, see what they filed with them. They may come back on an audit to reach out to you, see if everything to verify those numbers on that. There may be several ways to do it. What will trigger them to do it, I don't know. If there's a certain dollar amount they're going out for, I don't know. And if anybody tell you any different, unless they're the federal government, I wouldn't be so quick to want to believe them, to be totally honest with that. It's just more so, these are things kind of just be prepared just in case. The second is they can come after you just looking at what did you spend the money on unapproved items. The items that you're supposed to pay for, being PPP or payroll protection, those utilities, things like that, and basic operation and dealing utilities or rent, those basic operations that you could have used those items for with your PPP loan. Did you use it for that? I think we all seen enough videos where people were taking those funds and buying cars and doing all kind of stuff with it. And I think that's kind of, a lot of times people bring a lot of heat upon themselves with doing things like that. You shouldn't do it from the beginning, but if you turn around and have done it, you just, sometimes, you just got to pay the piper sometimes when you do things you don't you're not supposed to be doing. The third thing is, if you were using somebody else's personal information to acquire the loan, I can imagine there was some people out there, advertising certain things. They can get you this if you bring this and just have this person sign for that. No, I can only imagine what was presented out there to people, but I just want to let you guys know what could be a thing that can come back to you if you did use somebody's information to help you acquire that loan. Giving out, and this is probably one of the ones that, because these are the question I'll be asked the most about with the PPP right now, if that loan is forgiven. But if you're giving out false information in the process of getting forgiven for the loan, that could be something that can have recourse, especially like I said, we just talked about turning in no fake payroll forms, i.e. 941s, W-2s, any tax documents that you might have turned in a Schedule C that was incorrect, or it wasn't filed with the federal government. Those are things that they can come back to you about, especially if you were given forgiveness for those particular loans, okay? And the last thing I want to just mention is just lying to any kind of federal agent that may have questioned you in regards to the PPP audit or investigation. If you lied to them, that could be something they can come back to you with recourse. And I was just asked a little while ago, what if you want to make repayment to the fund you received the other way? You can make repayments back to the loan, just back to the financial institution that you received the funds for. If you have got it, you still have a financial institution that you received your PPP loan, i.e. bank or whatever financial institution that you have, you can make the payments back to them. If that's what you're asking for. But if it's a situation where we're saying that, look, I know I did the wrong thing with it and stuff like that, I want to get ahead of the curve, what do I need to do? Or if you're not for sure how you got this money, and again, I have no idea what was out there, but I think unless you're living in a cave, and if you're on social media anytime, you've seen people, hey, I can get you this, we can help you with a PPP loan, this, and doing different things and stuff, so I can, some of them, were legitimate organizations that were registered vendors to be able to process those loans, to do it. And some may have just, put anything, I don't know. But if you are not sure, just I just want to get the advice of saying, man, just seek some kind of counsel. I just did a video on that a little while ago. Go talk to an attorney and just share with them, hey, and this is if you did something wrong, or you're not for sure if something wrong was done wrong for you. Everything's legitimate. You got your I's dotted, T's crossed, and if somebody comes say something to you, hey, listen, this is what I have. They can check it, keep it moving. But if you're not for sure that what was put on those particular documents, if you're not for sure, somebody got this stuff for you, they applied for the loan, you got some money, you might have turned around, they did it again, and you exchange fees. However, go talk to somebody. Go talk to an attorney. You got attorney-client privilege. Hey, this is what I did. What's the ramifications of it? What possibly can happen? Pros and cons. Just have those conversations. I don't know if there's too many pros with it, but I would have those early conversations because I kind of look at everything the same way I look at stuff for business. I just try to be proactive and as ahead of the curve as possible with doing it. And I just want to give that guidance to you guys. And this can be dealing with a PPP, if you're dealing with something that, any kind of thing with your business or person yourself, being ahead of anything the possible investigation. I'm not an attorney, and I'm not giving out any kind of legal advice. But, I will say this, I'm not the type of person to sit here and wait for the ship to start sinking. So, if you know that something's wrong, go talk to somebody. And that's what we try to do on this channel, is give advice. Because if it's something I don't know, I have no problem letting you guys know I don't know. But if it's something I can steer in the right direction with, I would say go talk to these people. Because again, I think it'd be a lot cheaper to stay on the front side of it, trying to, the possibilities, as opposed to have yourself in a reactionary state with doing it and stuff. Again, I talked about this 2 years ago. Don't do it. These types of things that could happen. And I think a lot of times, because I had one video, a young lady asked, he put on the comments that the country blindly just gave out so much money. And I don't know this, but I would assume, because I read this in an article this back in 2020, never heard it personally from anybody. But if you were around in 2008 and 2009 when the market crashed, and how credit lines, I've shared with you guys how my credit line with my cleaning bills, that line of credit shrunk overnight with doing it. And if you were around and during that time, man, you couldn't get anything. The market crashed, the banks wouldn't give out nothing. So people were foreclosing left and right. People losing their jobs left and right. I mean, you see houses go from $200,000-$300,000 to damn $40,000-$50,000, and I'm serious as hell. Overnight. If you were in that 08-09, you knew how that was. You thought, but on the flip side, we remember you could be making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. You had your $400,000 house with an arm or interest on the loan. So who's headed to that chaotic state? But with that said, funding was very, very, very restricted. So I guess one of the things what the government were looking at, like, look, we don't want to have a situation like that. That wasn't a pandemic back in 08 and 09, but we was in that big, hard recession. And I guess they wanted to just make funds available to people to keep the economy going. And it did. Flip side of it is, when you do things like that, are people going to abuse certain things and take advantage of situations? Absolutely. And unfortunately, that's what happened. But again, I just want to have a conversation with you guys in regards to that. Again, if you know you did something, go talk to somebody. I'm not trying to be the moral police and tell you whatever. Go talk to somebody. And if you are not for sure, that something was done on your behalf, go talk to somebody. Go get you some legal counsel. Again, you listen to as many YouTube videos, TikTok, Instagram, people talking. Go pay that money, get you an attorney and have a conversation, and you can just spread everything out and get proper guidance going from there. That's the best advice I can give you in regards to that. Okay. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about, again, I am Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar myself. Just want to give you guys a quick financial update. I'm here in Atlanta, and it's storming real bad. I'm in the sunroom. I don't know if the light hit a tree or something. Back out there, but it was a strong explosion about 20-30 minutes ago with that. But everything's safe, man. Fell on me yet, so I guess we're good to go. Got a little bit borrowed time. But right now, I want to talk about the Inflation Reduction Act. And pretty much, guys, I know, we felt the sting of price inflation, all the hyperinflation that's been going over the past couple of months. You went from, $3 to damn almost $6, $7 in gas in certain parts of the country. Rent is extremely high. More house prices are extremely high. Clothes, you go to the grocery store, everything's high. So, the government is looking to curb the cost of everything. So the Inflation Reduction Act was created to help set the curve inflation. And one thing about it, guys, we start talking about economics and things like that. One thing I want you guys to always understand, even when we see people, with our politicians, they'll say, hey, we're creating these bills, we're creating these laws, we're doing this, that, and that. But with economics, there's always a ripple when it comes to economics. There's usually not an immediate impact when you start doing things in the economy. So when you start even making certain restrictions, tariffs, taxes, things like that, usually there's a ripple effect. There may be a couple months, maybe a couple years, but usually not anything that once this is done, unless we're talking from an economic standpoint. We're not just a legal standpoint where you just stop abortion and something like that. We're talking about just we put certain taxes, tariffs, legislation uses the ripple effect. So what happens now in August 2022, you may not necessarily feel the impact till December 2022 or maybe February 2023. That's usually how economics work. You don't see a lot of quick changes that happen. And pretty much what I was looking through, and this is just a bill because right now it's still going over some revisions, on both sides. It just passed the Senate last week, but I think a lot of these things are going to have down the road big picture changes and stuff. And again, that's kind of how economics work even with inflation. It's just you're not going to see any kind of immediate impact or changes. But I'm just going to go over a couple big things that I've noticed through it that probably could help, probably the more general masses of people. And one of the first things is cheaper prescription drugs. So Medicare can now directly negotiate prescription drug price with drug makers for most of the more expensive drugs. So that means patients will likely pay less money for their drugs. And one of the biggest things now, even with the inflation, you've seen the prices going up, everything went up. So medication went up as well. Hey, how you doing? Medication went up as well. So you got people just, you can be in need, depending on how your income level is. You can put you in a bad way real quick if you're not able to cover those insurance costs, with doing that. So that's what I want you guys kind of just be keeping in mind that if there are possible rebate prices, if the inflation price goes over the regular sale price of certain medication, I think they're looking at possible $2,000 a year cap on Medicare enrollees before paying their out-of-pocket drug expense for prescription drugs. That I think there's the government looking to save about $200, it was almost $300 million, I think $280-something billion over the next 10 years with that. You also got tax credit for electronic vehicles. I've seen a lot of articles online in regards to the actual tax credit for electric vehicles. $369 billion expected to be invested to accelerate the transition to cleaner energy and create the domestic energy production and lower carbon emission by 40% by 2030. So the whole wind turbines, solar panels, electric cars, all that, government looking to have some kind of infusion with all that right now. So that's one of the things, over the next couple of years, they're going to go to a more cleaner environment. So they're looking to make sure that the less we're burning, the less we're smoking or whatever, we're going to be using steam and solar energy over the next 20 years, just making a big investment to do it now. You got some electric vehicle buyers for up to a $7,500 tax credit, but that's limited to the first $200,000 that manufacturers are making. And if you get it's a $4,000 credit if you get a used electric vehicle. They're also looking. This is the bill that was passed. The law hasn't been made yet, so they're still going to revision. These are things that are expected. Raising corporate taxes. Companies with at least $1 billion in income to apply the 15% tax rate on their book income. It was ever stated a reporter looking to apply 15% tax on that, and that's expected to raise $313 billion in new revenue, providing 40% of the bill's funding. Okay, so a lot of times you got a lot of corporations don't pay that much in taxes. With that said, it's just one of the things like, hey, they're looking to go at it. Because again, this is these bills are going through negotiations that may change, but that's pretty much looking at most of the funding for the bill. So how much that's going to change over time, that I don't know. Okay. The last thing I want to go over, you guys, then I'll open the floor if you guys got any questions about anything outside of what we're talking about now. Pretty much, this is one of the things that, with the possibility of any kind of recession or any kind of economic slowdown in business, one of the quickest, I'm going to do another video on this subject entirely by itself soon, is how to recession-proof your business. And one of the things about it, when you're in business and you have factors outside of your control, economic slowdowns, certain new laws, restrictions, things like that, ordinance changes and stuff, it's kind of hard to adjust because a lot of times when those things happen, you really want to prepare for it. I can sit here and say, hey, I can have, we can generate an X amount of dollars posting YouTube videos, promoting my items on TikTok and Instagram, and all of a sudden, YouTube says we want to charge $1,000 a month. TikTok wants $100 a month. Instagram wants $100 a month. That can happen overnight, right? And we can't do anything about it. So what we want to try to do just in business, because I've been in business 21 years, and one of the things that I always preach to people is it's not a position of looking at things from a negative standpoint. I always try to make sure I'm planning for worst case scenario. I try to be forward thinking in regards to everything. I'm one of those people that I'm a fixer by talent. I can go through, renegotiate, look at things. If I see something broke, I have a background master's in supply chain. So, things can be, if they're inefficient or need fixing or be able to make certain changes to it, that's where my talents come in. Sometimes I overthink things, sometimes I overanalyze things, but that's really the bulk of where my talent comes from. We're looking at that. So with that said, I want to go over a couple things with you guys, because if you are in business right now, you're in a position where, you got things happening that you have no control of. They are, they're constantly changing and evolving. And you as a business owner have to be able to be responsive and pivot to changes that come about, right? So that's what I want to discuss with you guys now, pretty much just recession-proofing your business. And one first thing I want to talk about is make sure you focus on the future. You guys need to make sure that you make it a religious act to constantly be looking over your financials on a weekly, definitely monthly and quarterly basis. And like I said, plan for worst case, look at worst case scenarios and plan ahead. Excuse me. When you're looking at to see, okay, are we over leveraged out? Do we got too much debt? How's our money coming in? How much cash reserves we have? In finance, cash is king. People talk a lot, especially on social media, about credit, with all that stuff. That's fine, but cash flow is one of the key things to keep that corporation. That's your bloodline. Make sure that's it. Just looking at the financial state of your business, the balance sheet, the income statement, the cash flow statement, making sure that you know what's going on now, and you can plan for things that happen in the future. Like I said, pivot and adjust. You gotta know how to do that in business. Second thing, this is super, super important, guys. Make sure you talk to your suppliers and vendors. These are things that are very important, because when you're in business, it's one thing to be making sure you're taking care of your customers. But you also got to make sure that what people are taking care of you, right? So you got to make sure you're talking to those suppliers and vendors, because you need to find out if they're going to be possible supply chain issues, or if they're going to have any kind of price changes during the economic downturn. So if I'm sitting here in my business, if I'm making bikes and I got 2-3 vendors, one give me the frame, another one give me tires, and another one giving me rims, and we mix everything up. I need to know from a logistics standpoint, are y'all gonna have slowdowns? Are y'all gonna have certain spikes here and there? There's gonna be issues with you transporting, because they're coming from different regions of the country. Do you have other emergency vendors on deck, to help, you make sure that you are able to deliver your products, even though you may be where I'm at, based in Georgia. We got one supplier coming from South Carolina, another one coming from Florida, another one coming from Alabama, which are neighboring states. But if they have issues, you might have to go to the guy in Michigan and pay an extra amount of money. And you need to make sure you have an open relationship with that person to let them know, hey, listen, this is what we do. And, let's negotiate some kind of term. Even though you might be paying more to deal with that person in Michigan, you want to make sure you still got all hands on deck. Remember when I said, guys, we started talking about recession-proofing your business, we want to make sure that we're looking at everything worst case scenarios. I do not believe in any kind of language of people saying you're being negative, or we're gonna think positive with doing it. That's crazy as hell. You ain't gonna last too long in business with doing it. You have to be forward thinking and always looking at bad stuff happen, because if bad stuff do happen, and you're not gonna be prepared for everything. Nobody has a crystal ball, but the more prepared you are, the easier you'll be. The better. Well, it'll be easier for you to be able to handle certain things, to make adjustments. If you're constantly getting blindsided by certain things, I'm telling you guys, you're going to get knocked down. You're going to get knocked down. You might can't get back up. So I always just try to be able to do it. I always tell you guys, make sure you do that analysis. Look at all the reasons why you don't want to do something. And that way it's not to make you stop, it's always just to make you prepare for anything. But have those discussions with them vendors. Yours, remember discussing possible price changes and also maybe supply chain issues, and have conversations with other vendors in different areas that could possibly supply you in the event something happened to one of your vendors. Next thing is to analyze them labor costs. Can we run this thing lean? If we got to trim the fat and lay some people off, we have 10 people on the floor. Can we do it with 5? Can we do it with 6? If we increase wages and cover people loose, can we still do it that way? I'm not trying to sit here and tell you guys, hey, to lay people off. I'm telling you guys how to survive. And it's real talk. In the perfect world, we don't have to worry about doing these kind of things. But we know this world ain't perfect. So with that said, we have to prepare accordingly. So you got to understand where you got to trim the fat at. Do you need 4 managers? Can you do it with 2? Negotiate wages. Hey guys, things might be getting slow another month or 2. Furlough, lay off. We can negotiate some wages, change some stuff up. What do y'all want to do? Before things be straight up with people. People may not like what you say, but they gotta respect it. And at the end of the day, we're not talking about firing anybody. We're just looking at surviving. At the end of the day, we're not, this ain't the Navy. Ain't no captain going down with a ship. So you got to be, in charge and, man or woman enough, most importantly, business owner enough to be straight up with the people that work for you. Because you know how it is. If you take care of the people that work for you and making money for you and they feel so engulfed into the business and part of it, they'll do things outside of the job for you. You take it, and I always go through that, with my military training, that I always remember the NCOs that taught me when I became an NCO and I was sergeant rather, they took care of me. I bust tail for them, but they made sure, hey, they, holidays had us at their house. Birthdays, they took us out and did something for us and stuff. Didn't let anybody, another superior, disrespect us and stuff. Those kind of things, people go above and beyond for you outside of regular pay. So, those kind of things, like something that doesn't work for everybody. Some people just want money, give my money, let me get the hell on and go home. I get it. But on the flip side of all that, there are some people that, when you take care of them, they'll take care of you. So I just want you to understand, when we start talking about those labor costs, we got to kind of, I put your mean face on, but put your real face on, because that is something that you may have to do. And you have to be able to do it without straddling along. We know in business, the easiest expense to cut first is labor. That's the easiest one. We trim fat, lay folks off real quick. I'm not saying it's a good practice to have, but you need to be forward thinking and understand. Again, I keep talking, guys, forward thinking. You got to be proactive and understand, okay, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to recession-proof our business. That means no matter what happens from any kind of economic slowdown, we'll be able to rebound, adjust, and be able to move forward with it. So make sure we do a good job of analyzing our labor costs. Next thing, we got to try to review our prices. What can we bring stuff up? I've said before, and I learned this in grad school, and it was, when I first heard it, I thought it was crazy, but it made sense. A lot of times when we have slowdowns or business gets slow, we naturally look to lower advertising or lower prices. But you learn that, in grad school, increase your prices, increase your advertising costs. Like, damn, no money coming in, no activity, but that's what keeps it going. That's what keeps awareness. It's kind of like in track, you're sprinting, and the guy's in the head, he's full throttle sprinting, and he thinks, okay, I'm about to win. I see the finish line ahead, so he kind of decelerates his body, but this other person's coming up, and once they hit a footstep, you can't accelerate or re-accelerate up to catch up with them because you start slowing down. So if you have some kind of momentum, the worst thing you want to be doing or sustain success is start scaling back, pushing it, because it'll be hard just in case when it drops, and you don't know how far it's going to drop, or you'll be in a position to rebound from that. So when we start talking about, look at some increasing these prices, increase some of those prices. What can you increase it at? Where you may go from being fair to uncomfortable. So you don't want to get crazy. Like, look, if I take it here, nobody's going to buy it. but you might used to have a fair deal, and right now, like it's not fair no more. But hey, listen, but it just went up, but we know we still can make the sale with that. But can take a good look and make sure you see where you can raise those prices at. When we look in business, guys, this one thing I tell you guys, I hear people a lot of times they'll say, look, this is affordable and everything like that. Affordable can get you in a lot of trouble. It can be pleasing to the consumer, but can be detrimental to the owner because affordable is not always going to cover your costs, And I think a lot of times people, when they're new in business, they don't look at profit margins in regards to, it cost me $10 to make this shirt, but I'm only selling it for $12 in your mind, or even $15. You got a $5 profit that you're making per shirt. You're not thinking about how many of these $5 profits is it going to take to cover my overhead around me. That doesn't go into your mindset at all. You're just looking at the money you're making. And we got to get out of that when we're doing some kind of forward thinking again, looking at those prices, okay? And the last thing is, guys, I want you to just start looking over some of your expenses. What do we even need, right? Do we need a cable? Can we drop down the speed of internet? We're just talking now. What can I call and can I hit the cable company up and negotiate a new term? Look, man, we ain't talking 2 or 3 years. Listen, can y'all give me half off on the high speed? Can you do this? Can you do that? Your shippers, your vendors, your utility companies and stuff. Hey, man, can we get a fixed rate terms and stuff like that? Have them conversation. Look, remember y'all 2 or 3 years, got a new company in town. I got the letter in the mail. Look, I didn't want to talk to him, but got you on the phone now. What can we do? Try to cut fat early as possible. And I will say, everything we just talked about, recession proofing your business, these should be common practice you guys should do on, at least a quarterly basis. Have some conversation. If I'm spending money with you and everything's fine, we should be able to go back to the table every now and then and say, look, man, we doing business, everything fair, but let's work on some terms. And from that point, you can go from there. Here's the deal, guys. When you have several places you can go, you got options. When you only have one, you just take what you can get. But take advantage if you have options. And far too often people like, no, I don't want to do that. I feel, loyalty and all that kind of stuff like that. That's cool. We'll see how far they get you. Take care of people that take care of you. We've been straight up with everybody, and that's how we want to make it, right? So I just want to have that conversation with you guys in regards to, we just talked about recession proofing your business, the PPP loan fraud, the Inflation Reduction Act also. What I want to do now, open up the floor. So if anybody got any questions that are business related, some of the grants that we introduced to you guys over the past couple of weeks that have expired, anything going on, can you please, feel free. I'll keep the live feed open for a little bit, for you guys to ask any questions that, again, business related, finance related and stuff. You got me right here now on the live. So you can reach out to me now and let me know if you guys got any questions. So I'm just scrolling through. Guys, tomorrow evening, I have the How to Start Your Own Tax Business course. Let me keep this here. I'm going to do a live feed probably tomorrow just to talk about the course. I've been I'm an accountant, been in business over 21 years, and I have my course, How to Start Your Own Tax Business. The link for it is on the YouTube channel and also on the Facebook Live. Check that out. Pretty much what I'm thinking of going over is how to start your own tax business, run your own tax business from an operations standpoint. The course doesn't teach you how to fill out forms and things like that, but it does go over the system of having a tax business. Far too often people see the tax business here, because they'll go to that tax person, they'll pay that tax person X amount of dollars. It's just like anything else. Just like when you go to your lawyer, your landscaper, you say, well, look, they're doing this, they only doing that, and they just figure, it's easy. But they don't really, be naive to the fact that it takes a lot more than what they're just seeing. And people go and charge a low amount for tax preparation prices, still spend a regular amount on preparer software, advertising, equipment, things like that, and they barely break even. And from an aesthetic standpoint, they'll say, hey, listen, we're doing all right. I got this amount of customers, but because the prices aren't right, they're not doing anything. And really, you that first year, It's tough to get you a good, decent book of business. Usually take you maybe about 2 or 3 years, unless you're moving from somewhere and taking people with you. So you start from scratch. It takes you about 2 or 3 years to get a decent book of business up with doing it, because the first year really going to be learning your system. But we're providing all that with how to start your own tax business course. We're giving you the whole marketing plan, the whole process in regards to, from the moment they come in the door, sitting down with you and coming out the door, and maintaining things also during the year, those kind of things and stuff like that. And also how to reach more customers, pricing strategies, all that will be included in our course on how to start your own tax business. So again, if you got any questions, go to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar, in the description section of all the videos that's there. Also, if you're looking at us on Facebook as well, you'll see that there. Let me see. Does no one have any questions? Anything? We got everything open right now. I don't know if I came on too late. I don't see anybody with any questions as of now. Okay. Well, I may do another stream later on. I doubt it, but I know it definitely will be back. Okay, need the website for the grant. The website of the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar. Go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Now, if you're looking at the on TikTok, you can just go on my profile, hit the link for the YouTube channel. Go to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar. We get over 400 videos on the YouTube channel. I have a grants playlist with over 150 grant opportunities on the YouTube channel, right? You have to go through there. You got to look at the video. You'll see everything there. So you got to do some listening, and you got to do some applying. The thing of it is also that some of those grants that are on the YouTube channel is that some of them are recurring grants. So even if it's a grant that we posted last year or in 2020, it still may be active. It may renew every month or every quarter and stuff like that. So you got to spend a little sweat equity just to see. We got a lot of good stuff on there. So these are grants. When we put the grants up, just to let you guys know, Mr. Short Dollar is just a finance channel, right? So I'm advertising my tax course, but the actual grants that we tell you guys about, there's no kickback that I'm getting from them. What I do, I see opportunities for small business owners that are pretty easy to apply for. They're basically your name, your business. Now you got to be a legitimate business for all of them, but I vet them to make sure they're legitimate grant opportunities, not anything you got to something fly by night or anything. So I make sure that I vet it to make sure it's coming from a legitimate organization. Most of them are coming from bigger organizations. I know, you might be Comcast, your Coca-Cola, your Dove, Caress. It's been tons of them, man. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, but it's over 150 grants. But what we do, we just pretty much just advertising. Some of them may be for Hispanic, Pacific Islanders, veterans, Black females, startups, college kids, and take into consideration. Theoretically, we know grants are created to solve problems, right? And so the pandemic, I think, gave people a wrong idea of what grants are, because they were just giving out $1,000 per employee that you had to a particular company. The issue comes that that's not how grants usually flow. Grants usually flow for a problem. It may be helping guys coming out of incarceration, helping single moms start their own business, their own clothing business. Grants created it. You just have to, when you're applying for the grant, is to solve the problem that the grant was created for. So when you're applying for it, you just have to solve that problem. And most of the grants are going to have a vetting process where they say, they got to make sure, because they're not going to cut a check to Deonte Burden. They're going to want to cut a check to Majestic Business Services, Mr. Short Dollar, Deonte Burden Corp. They're going to want to cut a check to that. And when they do that, they're going to make sure, hey, tax ID, business account, that kind of stuff. They're not going to cut it to an individual. They're going to cut it to a person. So usually you got to have that together. Then sometimes they may want you to give some kind of story. If we give you these funds, what are you going to spend it for? They're legitimate. It just, I think most of the times people don't have the ducks in a row to be awarded. They want money, but they're not prepared to receive money. And that's often is the case. Even when you have people that want to get loans from banks a lot of times, and people say a lot that, hey, banks don't want to give them funding, especially, I've been in the financial services industry over 25 years. I heard a lot. Black businesses can't get funded. Most of the way it is right now, 2022, shit. I don't even know the actual color. I think the issue come up with most businesses, black, green, yellow, white, whatever color, people they ain't got the ducks in a row. If you have the things set in place, pretty much, ain't nobody caring. The days of going to the bank and sitting in front of the guy and that kind of stuff, that's by damn over. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen that when you go to the local branches. I mean, staff have been cut in half. Like, there hardly is any drive-through anymore at banks, right? You may have one person manning 5 bays. They just waste this money. They're not using the bay. So people drive over 5, one person manning all those. They went lean on the inside and stuff like that. So pretty much, man, everybody, they're just looking at numbers. Now, I still tell you guys, business and banking is all about relationships. So if you want certain things to happen, certain adjustments, you need to make sure your business banker know who you are and stuff like that. You get access to capital when we don't need it. We talk about that, right? But, we go back to these grants, man. It's just a lot of time have your ducks in a row. Another thing is being realistic. If it's only X amount of dollars allocated for the grant, be it 100,000, 200, $500,000, everybody applying to get the money. Everybody gonna apply to get the money. It's just that's the other thing. I think the pandemic just boogered everything up. People have this, well, we applied, we didn't get it. I mean, damn, at the end of the day, you didn't have the money in your pocket. If you spent 15, 20 minutes applying for it, what did you lose? What did you lose? You didn't have it in your pocket before, you damn ain't gonna have it after that. It's going to the next thing. And that's just part of business. You're not gonna get everything. You're not gonna get every customer you talk to. Every person walking your door ain't gonna spend money with you. So at the end of the day, if it's an opportunity for you to get money in your pocket, just fill it out. Take you 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, and just fill the paperwork out. If you get it, great. If you don't, you ain't really lost nothing, right? But and that's just part of business, But when we theoretically look at it, we have to make sure that we're in position for when opportunity comes, we can take advantage of it. And that's, again, I think the case. Most of the time, people are missing out on different grant opportunities, but also even just customers. When they, people, looking to actually acquire your services and stuff like that, can you deliver what they want to hear? Can you deliver what they need and everything? That's why government contracts get missed, certain contracts with certain private businesses and things. People just ain't prepared. When opportunity comes, it sounds good. We can be on social media posting and doing all this other kind of stuff happen. Cool, man. I seen you on TikTok. Man, I love them shirts you're making and stuff like that, or the tables you got. Man, if I want to buy about 40 of them. And you definitely don't want to sit here and say, dang, man, I can't do it. But you can do it if you got access to capital. You can hire 1 or 2 more people. You might get you, just burn a little bit more, pay some people, contract some folks out to do some things you normally don't do, but you can take advantage of it. But you miss out on it because your system ain't in place for you to be able to handle opportunity. And that's what happens a lot of times. See, it's one thing to be sitting there saying that, well, I want to get a grant or something to start my business up. Y'all got to understand that if people look at it, they'll say, okay, what kind of skin you got in the game? If you want to go start something up, if somebody give you opportunity, i.e. some money, if that's the only way to get your business started, if I give you some money or give you some help to do it, ain't too many people gonna believe in you. That means you just wait on somebody else. That's one of the first, when you look at Shark Tank, one of the first questions they ask is, do you have any sales already? And they get kind of shunned upon when they look like, nah, we haven't done anything, we just made a prototype. They say, yeah, we've already did locally, had X amount of sales. Be it great if it's good as a high number, but at least they know, hey, they went out there, they made some kind of attempt. So they made a certain attempt to do something for themselves. They believe in themselves. They put some money out to do this, and maybe with my cash infusion, they can do something else. But when you did a damn thing for yourself, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for anybody to believe in you. And you're always going to be wishing and hoping for that to happen, And that's why I want you guys to make sure you taking advantage of all the opportunities that are out there. But most importantly, investing in yourself and spend that little extra time, sweat equity, make sure, hey, listen, I got my ducks in a row to be able to have opportunities. Let me see if I see anything else. Somebody else join. Nobody. Let me see. Nobody else got any questions? In regards, we just, again, these just basic questions. I got the flow open right now while I'm here on the live feed. And you got it in the business related for the funding. You guys got me on right now. Any questions that you may have? in regards to anything. Like I said, we just did a quick live feed, talk about recession proofing your business, Inflation Reduction Act, and also the PPP loan fraud. Again, just in summary, just telling anybody if you did do it, or if you don't know something was done, just seek some kind of counsel. Let's get the background information to the Inflation Reduction bill that was just recently voted approved by the Senate. Right, they're still doing some negotiations. So some of the things we talked about could be changed, but theoretically, when we start talking about any kind of things to adjust the economy, it's that ripple. So whatever we decided in August, we may not see the effects of it until the end of the year. It's just something to keep in mind when we start looking at economics. And also the recession proofing your business. Just talk about some ways that you can make adjustments to your particular business to keep things afloat, just in case you got any kind of slowdown, or just basic practices you can have to help you maintain your business when you do have things kind of go left or slow down for you. Okay, so there are no questions, guys. Nothing, anything like that. I'm pretty good at what I do, but I ain't cheap. So you got me right now for free. If you want to ask any kind of business related questions, business funding, business operations, anything like that, you got me right now. I ain't got no invoice out, so take advantage of it. Say, we got Lacey McCullum Jr. What's the question we got here? Do you need a grant writer to get the grants on your YouTube channel? Absolutely not. The question was, do you need a grant to get a grant writer on your YouTube channel? And one of the biggest things, when I put the grants on my YouTube channel, they're pretty much simple grants. So those grants you don't need any kind of grant writer for, because they're asking basically basic questions. The only thing they're mainly vetting for, number one, to make sure you're a legitimate business. So business name, tax ID number. They may ask for an article, scan of your article of incorporation, what state you're in, things like that. And you may have some selling questions where they may ask, if you're getting this funding, what would you do for it? I make sure when we look those grants that are on there, that come from legitimate companies. That's one of the biggest things I make sure of that. So I don't, they're not anything, we don't get any kind of kickback. I have no relation with any of those companies. When I see them out there for small businesses, because I run across them all the time, and I make sure those are actual ones that I can put on the channel that are easy for small business, mom and pops, entrepreneurs to be able to apply for them. So you don't need those. Those are the ones that are like grants.gov, 40, 50 page application that you need. They're pretty simple grants. But again, can't state enough, go through the grants playlist. Even the grants that we introduced last year or the year before, or even before that, the expiration, some of those are reoccurring grants. So again, they renew each quarter, each month. So again, even though we introduced it before, they're still around, right? So you just got to spend a little time with just going through the grant playlist. We're doing it. But in addition to the channel, in addition to the grant playlist, we got tons of it. Like I said, it's over 400 videos. We got entrepreneurial information, financial information. We have a finance playlist with different loan opportunities that I put out for you guys. You guys, I look at a lot of just like I know people look at what we have, to other people that are actually in this business. And now I mean like financial service, or even with a channel talking finances. One of my biggest things I keep stressing to everybody, you look all the time, you see people that are giving that information in regards to how to get your business loans and tax ID and you can get an EIN and get a line of credit. I keep telling you guys, this is strictly an accountant talking to you guys right now. If you know you have challenge, derogatory, whatever adjective you want to use, not the best credit from the personal side, and you want to get a business loan, there are products out there that you could get a loan for. They are. But I'm going to tell you guys, the terms are going to be so messed up, it won't be beneficial to you. You'll see all the times people put information out about, hey, you can apply for this and get this credit and get that credit. You sure can. But you're going to get it at 20 and 35%. Nobody never say that. So you get this particular loan, get a particular credit, and you're paying 4 or 5 times what you were expecting to pay. Is that a good deal? You got the credit, you made the purchase. But because you were so excited about that, and again, I got videos in my finance. I have the loan products 101, business loans 101, where I explain to you different business loans from term loans, business credit, business lines of credit, what they are, how their rates, how they apply to stuff. I break all that down for you just to teach you guys that. I have those videos on the YouTube channel. All the information is there. But again, some of these guys, when you look at these videos, and I'm not the one to talk about for business. I don't scrutinize because I've been in business too long. I know how hard it is and stuff. I don't think people a lot of times have ill intentions when they put out information that's not the best. I just think that they put it out and because they don't know and it sounds good to them or it may have worked for them, they think that's the best way or the only way. That's what I mostly think. Again, if I know somebody seasoned, I know somebody credible, you're gonna kind of people that are like accountants or even doctors or lawyers, you can go on their LinkedIn and you see, okay, this person done this, that, and that. That doesn't mean they know everything, but you got something that's verified. You got something that's credible. I put it in all my social media, my LinkedIn, I got all that stuff on my YouTube channel. So you can kind of look at that and say, hey, okay, well, he may know what the hell he's doing. So I say all that to say, be very, very wary for something that you think is very easy. People tell you, hey, you can get these loans, you can get these products. You can, but you can get the best one, and you ain't going to get a good one. So be very, very, very careful of that, okay? Because you are going to probably get the best options when you go to banks and everything, because they're going to either be prime or maybe 1 or 2 up from prime. They'll be in, maybe 7%, maybe 8% on your business loans. Do you need decent credit to do that? And decent, I mean by over 700 score usually. But if you got a relationship, you might can mitigate that. But again, you can just say, well, look, I don't have time to wait for that. I need to get this funded for my particular business. Just be wary that the product you get, because you might get a $50,000 line of credit. You might get a $75,000 loan, but I'm telling you. And again, if I'm wrong, I'm man enough, businessman enough to say, man, look, okay, cool. I didn't know about it. I appreciate you letting me know. But I'm saying this out of experience. You're not going to get any good terms. You have access to the money, but it's going to be some bad access. Trust me with that. Trust high rates, screwy terms. Trust me with that. Okay, so it's easy for me to say be patient, but that's my best thing I can tell you. And go to these banks, man, have a conversation. Let the bankers tell you what they want to see. Let the bankers tell you what information they need to have. Deonte can sit here and tell you in general, these are the things that the banks look at. But you need to go down to Chase or Bank of America or the Community Credit Union and let them tell you what they want to see, because they're giving you the money, not me, right? I can give you, in general, that's what they look for, so you can be somewhat prepared. But they may put more weight on credit scores, or they may put more weight on collateral. They may put more weight on industry experience. That's for the particular lender, and that can vary from bank to bank, okay, or financial institution. So you need to make sure you go have a conversation with them. Who this is me, this is what I'm doing. And if they're rude to you, mean to you, that helps you out. You ain't got to deal with them anymore, right? But you can go to go to a couple of them, have a conversation, and they'll tell you what they want to see. Listen, this is where you're at. We can't help you now, but if you take care of A, B, and C, come back. We can have a conversation. But at least right? Instead of always, listening to everybody that's telling you things to do. But when you apply, did it work? When you apply, did it give you a result that you could live with? Like, cool, I went and got this funding, but that money I got, they put me into, I'm about to say, I'm about to say the wrong kind of home, but have you just where you're in a homeless shelter or something, okay? And that happens a lot, because sometimes I want to say it's greed, sometimes it's being naive, sometimes it's being impatient. But some products, if it seems too good to be true, that's usually it, okay? All right. I hope I answered that question for you, Mr. McCullum. The next question I got. Hana Hassan, what if I was an independent contractor and I received the PPP and I also got it forgiven? Do I still need to prove anything? If they ask, the question is, what if I was an independent contractor, received the PPP and also got it forgiven? Do I still need to prove anything? If it's asked, yeah. And pretty much the only thing you're going to do is just show the documentation that you applied for. The issue is going to come up if the documentation that was used in the application process to acquire the loan was fraudulent, or the documentation used in the application process to get it forgiven was fraudulent. Like I said again, that can be the payroll forms, i.e. the 941, W-2, whatever was used, or the tax documents. Just Schedule C, 1040, your 1065, your 1120, 1120S, whatever was used was that fraudulent. So again, it's not. Whatever that could be asked for you, if everything's fine, you should have it, right? Those items you should be having, because the items that I asked for you were the items that should have been asked for with that. But again, I say talk to an attorney, because if you have everything, come on in, sit down. This is what I have and stuff like that. If you get asked questions above your head, which is not uncommon, I'm kind of old school. I kind of like to say let light people talk. So I like to let lawyers talk, let accountants talk, let insurance people talk. So I don't like people putting a fast one on me or talking above my head. So that's kind of how I like to get down. But if somebody's talking to you that should provide some information, just send them what you already sent. But I say again, and I add, we're not trying to go to pop nobody on the hand. If you know you did wrong, or if you're not for sure, if something was done wrong in your behavior, go talk to somebody. Go talk to a lawyer and just kind of get some information from them. Okay? Just straight up. I had enough videos. Hey, don't do this. Don't lie. Don't do that. I've done it. I've had a gazillion times. I'm not going to tell you guys to do it the right way. Right? My way may be uncomfortable. It may take a longer time and all that kind of stuff. Cool, but I'm always going to tell you the right way. That's why I don't mind posting my business. I don't mind doing that kind of stuff, but I work too hard for my stuff. I'd be damn if I'm sitting here and lose it. So I'm just worried, trying to hustle, trying to get some money up so I can sit there and say things. And if I'm wrong, I can stand on it. Okay, cool, let me know. And I can keep it moving. I ain't gonna sit here and argue about something I know I ain't right about. It's not that serious to me. But I try to make sure that if I put information out to the public, that I scrutinize enough. Now, have I made mistakes and missed out on some things? Absolutely. But they fall few between because I'd rather not do that. So, but anybody can make a mistake. That's why I want to say, if something was done on your behalf and you're not for sure that it was legitimate, man, go talk to somebody. Talk to somebody. Talk to a professional with doing it, and just take what comes, get the advice they say. They may say, hey, prepare for this, and nobody say that until you fine. But if somebody says something to you, you are prepared, right? But I'd be damned if I would sit here and wait with doing it. I'm not saying get them a call. I'm saying just go seek somebody, go talk to them. And that's the smartest thing, and if you care to protect what you have or what you have worked for, I think you probably agree with me on doing that. Let me see. If there are any other questions, I hope I answered everybody's questions. If I didn't, please let me know now. TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Anybody got any other questions? Nobody got anything? I know something's going to pop up soon as we get ready to shut it down. So, listen, I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight where we talked about the old financial update regarding the Inflation Reduction Act, PPP loan fraud, and also recession proof you did. Like I said, guys, be proactive right now with vendors and stuff. And that just should be a common practice when you deal with vendors and suppliers. Talk to as many people as possible. You might have the one that you're comfortable with, even though they may not be the cheapest. They may not be the best quality, but just say they're reliable. I get it. But also have plan B, because people flip out on you. And not even flip out, just check out the video I did about a year ago on 10 things you need to know will make somebody a business partner. A lot of that stuff is applicable when you deal with vendors as well, because people can go through stuff and you got your business going and you're dependent on this particular product that is supplying to you, and they go through a divorce. They get sick. They get some kind of new kind of code or something like that affects their production in that business. Shit, they're going to come back to you. But if you already had a relationship with this person, you've been talking to that person, those kind of things can help protect you in business. Business rough. And I'm talking about, I did the video on about 3 levels of entrepreneurship business. The safety net, the kind of, struggle piece, and then the free fall, we totally 100% independent. I get that part. I get that part with, just knowing how much you're going to stick your foot out there in the water before, you're just totally out there, covered up into it. But you still got to make sure you're protecting yourself, right? Because you don't want to this side hustle that you may have, this hobby that you're trying to invest a little bit more in, or this thing that you're doing just this is how you eat to hurt you or hurt your family, right? Too many people right now that are in business that have a job, they about to have a heart attack or lose their family, keeping this business open, and they're using all the resources and everything from their job to keep it open. And a lot of times it's because they made uninformed or greedy decision with the business that's turned around and affected everything else. And now, when we start talking about investing and doing a side business, that's supposed to kind of like enhance our life. That's supposed to make us happy. I got my job, but I'm starting to cook cakes on the side. I'm starting to cut a little grass and make a little extra money. That's supposed to enhance our life. You don't want to, you start and bring some damn struggle and headaches to your life, especially if you already got a steady income already coming. So just make sure that, hey, you're doing it the right way. You're not forcing it or anything like that. Get in some groups, join a Facebook group or Instagram group, get you a business coach, get you a business mentor, because you might know that particular task. You know how to be a plumber, you know how to be an electrician, you know how to cut grass, manicure, you'll love it, but you might not be a business person. That's how I had a salon 17 years and I don't know nothing about hair. I know how to make money. And it was just so crazy. Over the years, I just see all the barbershops and beauty salons that would open up right there around me, and they couldn't stay open. They couldn't stay open because they couldn't get down on like that. They weren't business folks. And they just really couldn't understand that they're creative people. They could do all those things, and I'm not a creative person. I'm a fixer, and that's one of the things I think a lot of times people miss out on, because you have to understand, knowing what kind of person you are. If you're not a person that can handle a lot of risk, that can handle a lot of change and stuff like that, how can you make your adjustment? Do you need to get a manager in? Do you need to move yourself away from it? You might need to be the owner that's working out with the business, or just have somebody manage it, or you may have to be in a situation where if you're being an owner, CEO that you want to be, where you're working on the business and not in it, and you got the proper people in place. You got those kind of things. You sit back and have that moment where you do that kind of analysis. Okay, we got Ink Hype. You think they're going to lock everyone up who did the PPP? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not even. The question was, do I think they're going to lock everybody up who did the PPP? I don't know. Again, I'm not a lawyer. To say, hey, how they're going to handle it, if they're going to fine everybody, put people in jail. I don't know that. To be honest with you, my biggest thing is I just want to be proactive and help folks in regards to, if you know you did something wrong, this is how you move forward with it. Because at the end of the day, you're wrong, you can't do nothing, just fess up to it. What the hell, you need to keep just moving away and avoid it. So that's why I said, have a conversation with an attorney with doing that, and that's why I say attorneys can talk with other attorneys. So if they got to talk with folks, they can find stuff out. They can let you know, hey, this is what's going on, possibly with that, and go from there. I didn't do it, but I just wanted. No, I didn't say that's fine. I'm just, no, I didn't say you did anything like that. But hell, I never received it. I never received a loan at all. But just being in the business, I know how things go, and I've seen plenty of things over the years. And in regards to using government funding, any kind of things with banks and stuff, how a lot of that stuff goes. So, but we just had an open conversation in regards to that. You ain't got to beat yourself up if you did it. You just know how to handle it. That's why I said I would talk to somebody. I definitely, I wouldn't be in a situation where, I'm sorry, I'm trying to fix this camera. I definitely wouldn't be in a situation where I wait till something happen. I would at least have a conversation with a professional in regards to, hey, what's the worst case scenario, what I maybe need to do to get ahead of the curve so I'm not stuck in a situation. That's my whole point I want to make to you guys. I definitely, in the hell I'll be sitting there doing it. Gotta work too hard for what I got. And I'm pretty sure you guys have also. And depending on what level your business is and stuff like that, you may have done stuff as a job, you done built up, you started this business, may have worked hard for this business, and you don't want to let that stuff crumble behind no BS. So I'm just saying, be proactive. We're having those conversations, okay? What's going on? Tell you. Anybody else got any other questions? You got me? Any other question or anything like that? Talk again. We had a pretty good discussion in regards to PPP loan fraud, inflation reduction bill, and the recession proofing your business. You guys got any other questions? Well, I start kind of exiting out. I'm here. Okay. Well, with that said, when we winding out, listen, guys. You know, every Thursday we have either Change Your Lives or Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. I want you guys to make sure you're checking out the channel. Go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That is the main hub. That is the main hub for all the videos. So again, we're gonna stream live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn, and Twitter. The main hub is the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel. So go there, Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Take advantage of all the great information there. It's a whole lot more information than just grant videos and stuff. So 400 videos with that covering business operations, business finance, business management. You know, we do everything over financial statements, financial ratios, different insurance products that be, i.e. business, personal, life, you know, go over and stuff like that. And you're talking to a person that's been in the game over 20 years with dealing with this stuff. I ain't gonna tell you the quick, easy way to do it. I'm gonna tell you the right way to do it. So go to the YouTube channel, take advantage of all the great information. Love you guys. Be safe out there, and I'll talk with you soon.